Americans to understand right now that what you see happening in the news, I have been prophesying about for over 30 years.
God does not want to see America destroyed, and he has sent Apostle Taylor as his messenger and end-time general to warn his people of this coming attack and to give the answer and solution that will avert this war. God continues to validate his friendship and covenant with David E. Taylor. February 2022, a young woman on evangelist David E. Taylor's staff received a special series of visitations from the Lord that gave warning about Russia's upcoming plans for the Ukraine and how it is also Russia's strategy to move forward in their attack against America. Listen now to what Jesus told her.
There was this bright light that came in through my window, in through my curtains, and it was so bright, it was so pure, it was just like a beautiful white color. When I saw him as Jesus, he stood in front of the window and just allowed me to look at him. I could see the love and kindness in his eyes. And he put his hand out and he said, "Come, I have things to show you." And we were standing in the snow, the sound of a train on a track. When I looked at it, I saw all these huge military tanks and vehicles on the train. It was just rolling by. Different men in military fatigues, they were running. And as I looked closer, I saw it wasn't our military. Then the tanks began to shoot out missiles. The gunshots began, and it was just constant gunfiring. And then I just screamed out to him, "The Ukraine! We're in Ukraine!" And I looked back at Jesus, and he shook his head yes. Then he grabbed my hand. We instantly were out of the battlefield, and we were in a dark, secret room, small side room in the Kremlin. When I saw Vladimir Putin sitting in a chair, and then Jesus started to talk. I have tried to speak to Vlad in his youth, even after all these years, but he prefers to keep an open ear to Lucifer. He spends his time with Satan. A man came in the room with a cell phone in his hand, and he handed it to Putin, so I could hear a Chinese voice talking to Putin. Putin began speaking back, and they both were speaking their own languages. And then Jesus said, "Listen closely. Pray. America must pray. Pray to my Father." Then Putin hung up the phone and walked out of the small side room. And I watched him walk down to a podium in a great big room. And he was speaking in Russian. There was a TV screen in my mind, and I could see the news. It read, "Putin to declare war on America. China to support and believe this is just. Other nations to follow suit." And I grabbed Jesus' arm, and I said, no, this can't be. Then Putin left the podium and walked out of the room. So we had gotten into the tunnel, and we were into this big room, and I looked, and then I saw Vladimir Putin walk in, and he sat down at like the head of the table. Jesus started to talking about Putin, and he said he enjoys causing fear and confusion. He tells half-truths. He says one thing while doing the other. And then he took my hand like a second. It was like that fast. We were in another room. Jesus started to talk, and he said, "America must pray that God's will be done in my friend's life so that America will not be attacked." And I said, "Yes, Lord, I will tell them." I asked, "Lord, when will this happen?" And then he just looked at me and he said, "This does not have to happen. Pray to my Father. Pray."
This judgment of war would take place because America had rejected God by kicking God out of the nation.
You say, what problem do God have with America? Number one is pride.